Hi and welcome to another reading with me, Lena. So today we're doing something which I hope will be fun. I've done something very similar before with the crushes and the future spouse, the first impression that you will make on them. So I thought today we'd turn it around and see what first impression they'll make on you. So this is just for fun. It may not be exactly what you expect, and it may quite often we make the wrong impression of people. So please take this as just fun and as a possibility. So, so what first impression will your future spouse make on you? But before we get into that, I just want to tell you about my book, The Quest for the Holy Pale. Here it is. And it is a fun read. As friend Eisenman said, it's kind of like eating ice cream with cake and clever lines and names. So if you want to get it, you can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Booktopia. You can get it at Exclusive Books or Loot or any online stores, including the Spanish Carrefour or the Carrefour in Spain. And if you're feeling like a sweet delight, in case this is a bit of a sour response to your, from your future spouse, then you can find some solace in Quest for the Holy Pale. So before we go, that's done. So I want you to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll probably change the order, but we have a feather. We have some purple type flowers. I don't actually know what they're called. We have some lavender. We have a bow, or if you prefer a star, and then we have a dancing couple. So choose one of these and let's see what kind of impression your future spouse makes on you. And if you want to know what kind of impression you make on them, then look in the playlist and you'll be able to find that. So we're going to look at the feather first. And let's see what we get for you. I'm just going to move this here so we can see your cards. And I'm also going to use a deck before we get into it. What deck shall we use? Let's use the Housewives Tarot for this one. What kind of impression will you make on your future spouse when they first meet you? So you've got the Knight of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. I think I just said that, sorry. We're just coming out of Mercury retrograde when we're recording this. I also wanted to let you know that in here, besides their response or your response to them will be some assumptions, which may be false, that they make about you when they first meet you. So the impression you get of them is that they're a bit of a bad boy, that they are quite intelligent, but almost like they're only interested in money. They're thinking long term. For some of you, you may sense that they're a little bit sad. Perhaps they've lost someone, especially if you have a Spanish ancestry or Latin. And it's possible that you might meet them around the holidays very soon, or at a time when there's a lot of family reunions or weddings, and that they just seem too sad and perhaps out of it. They could be either partying too much or partying not at all, but they have you get a very sort of bad boy vibe from them or bad girl vibe from them. And it seems like they could be a little bit too stern or not very playful, but very, very serious. They could ask very deep questions or very personal questions that seem almost rude, and you may choose not to respond to them. And they could also be very sarcastic and generally kind of a little bit hurtful with their words. I think when you meet them, they may be arguing with someone, and you could think that they're very argumentative, and the sort of gossip or things that people say about them is that they could be a heartbreaker, or that they are, not someone that your parents would want you to be involved with. So, but the thing is, they could also have, or seem to have a lot of money, a lot of good clothes, a lot of, drive a good vehicle, or, you know, just have the sort of a feel of money around them. And you could be feeling that you're not sure what you think. It could be that your parents or family want you to meet as well. And yeah, you're really not that sure that this is someone that is going to be right for you. And let's see if we have confirmation here about how they may, the impression you get of them. Is it sweet or sour? And what, okay, we got sugar and spice and all things nice. So maybe you do like bad boys or bad girls, and you kind of maybe just want to see if okay, maybe you just want to see if it's good for the short term. You may not see them as a long-term prospect. They don't quite meet your wishes for the long term, but maybe you just like the excitement that they bring into your life. So what they may assume about you, you've got the Lovers, you've got the Empress, you've got the these are tarot cards that I made from my do-it-yourself tarot for writers. And then these are the LeNormand. I think they're from the Wandering Oracle that I've colored in. So we've got the Coffin, the Stork, and the Heart. So the impression or the assumptions they make from you is that you want marriage, you want a family, you want to settle down, and you want a long committed relationship. They also assume that that you're moving soon, and that you're a very joyful person, or that they may like you. So there is some kind of attraction or mutual attraction here, but you feel the impression they make on you is of a difficult person, and you are strongly attracted to them, but you don't see them as a long-term prospect. They see you as someone looking for a long-term prospect, or that's the impression they give. And it's like they could be the right person, but it's the wrong time, or they're going to be too much work to be in a relationship with. And they sense that you are changing, or that you are moving soon, or perhaps you're just visiting. Like I said, there's an element of family here, and they kind of feel it. For some of you, you may actually meet at a wedding or a funeral or something like that. But it does also feel like it could be the holidays where everyone's feeling a little bit morbid. So the other things they make assumptions about, or that they notice about you, is stained teeth. So you probably drink too much tea, or perhaps you smoke. That you are or have been to Croatia, Serbia, Slovenia, or Moldavia. That you're from the the middle of the US, mid USA. That you could be an engineer, or you're interested in engineering. They notice that you may have very thin lashes. Perhaps they see you without mascara. They may also feel that you're in between jobs, that you're not, that you're not employed at the time that you meet them. And you may be short. They may notice that you're short, or it could be that you have short hair, or perhaps you're wearing shorts and they're a little bit too short, or there's something about you or your clothing that's a little bit short. And then they also think that you're sweet and that you fair. So I think overall, it's like, you both think that you're nice, but some of you think that they may think you're too nice for them, too sweet for them. And you might feel that they're not quite right. You kind of like them. You like looking at them. They're eye candy. But you don't think that they're a long-term prospect. And they feel that they probably feel they don't want to be committed at this time either. So very interesting reading. I hope it made sense to you. It's a bit mixed, shall we say, but generally very sweet. So I hope that you like that and it made sense to you. Please let me know if you enjoyed this, and if you want to know the kind of impression, I think that's a more structured reading, that the first impression that you make on them, then do look at the playlist and you'll find it. So that was the feather, and I'm going to put these away. Let me just pause it so I can get sorted. And don't forget to read Quest for the Holy Pale if you like ice cream and cake and clever lines. Hi, so let's go on to option number 2, which is the purple flowers. I'm not sure what kind of flowers they are, but let's see what it says for you. Before we get into our little packet of goodies, let's see what the tarot cards may say. Let's use the Angel Tarot and see what it says. So we're going to just pick 3, and then we're going to get into your pack of goodies. So what they may think of you when they first see you. So they may see the 2 of water, the 2 of cups, the Emperor, and the Sun. So like, wow, they think you're amazing. They may fall in love with you at first sight. You kind of glow, and they feel that you're kind of very sure of yourself, very in charge of yourself and your life, that you're going in a good direction, that you're happy. And I just feel that you just glow, you know. They see you as glowing, as beautiful, as handsome, as having everything together. And some of them may want to, you know, they may know that you're the one immediately. They may feel this is the person I've been looking for all my life. But let's see what these say. So the last one had sugar and spice and all things nice. And let's see what you've got here. We've got not a vice at your side in a trice. So yes, oh my goodness, you have the love at first sight card or a situation. They're going to be like, wow, that's my future spouse, that's my future wife, my future husband. And they may be kind of speechless at first when they see you. For some of you, you are everything that they've been looking for and probably thought they would never find. So it's like, wow, yeah, they will be at your side just like that. So for your tarot cards, these are ones I made from my do-it-yourself tarot for writers, and my sister and I did it as a bonding exercise, and it was actually very good. So you're going to take them completely by surprise, and they're going to feel that they want to spend the rest of the time with you. You know, it definitely feels like they feel they want to marry you immediately. So your LeNormand cards, we have the birds, we have the star, we have the man. So it's interesting. They pick up a lot of masculine energy from you. So even if you're female, they feel that you have, you know, you have things together, that they won't need to hold your hand. If they travel a lot, they may actually travel a lot, and they would need someone who kind of is very organized, very structured, and can deal with emergencies. So they see you as someone who is strong enough to do that. They want to date you immediately. They could have, like I said, dreamt about you or gotten some kind of psychic information about you beforehand, and so they just know that you are the one for them. You tick all their boxes. And I think for the women watching this, they want to be your man. And for the men watching this, they want to be your woman as well. And for those of you that are other genders, they know that you are the one for them. They also feel that not a lot of people understand them and the kind of decisions they've had to make, and that you are one of the few people that can, even if you can't relate to them, you can understand them. There's some decisions they made in life that they find difficult to talk about, and they feel that you will understand them and meet them at the same level. And I think that's very important for them, because they can't trust anyone who doesn't get that side of them. It's not a dark side or anything, it's just that the kind of calls that they make in life may not be typical. They may be a little bit controversial, but they know that they can have this happiness with you because you will not judge them for it. You can understand their point of view from like an emperor perspective. So they could have to make really significant decisions that affect more than one person, and over, they could be the head of a large CEO or NGO or something like that, and the calls they make are difficult, and they would like to talk things over with you because they feel that you can understand them. That may be very only be for one or two of you, but it's coming through very strongly. So let's see what assumptions on what they notice about you. So they may notice your mouth, that you may have a wide mouth, that you may be from a country or a rural area. So there's something about you, your accent or the way you dress or something that reminds them of them. They may see that you're from, or assume that you're from northern India. And they could also assume that you're a bit spacey or very interested in space or outer space, as well as the Balkans. For some reason, perhaps they feel you have a connection to the Balkans, or that you are interested in the Balkans. So they may feel that you're a politician, or that you would make a good politician, and they may also think you're a little bit amoral. So amoral, when I mean this, it doesn't mean that you don't have morals, it just means that you don't have conventional morals, or compared to their set. You don't judge people for their in the same way that other people would, or that you can, again, like I said, understand the kind of decisions that they make or that you would make. You won't disagree with them. So it's very interesting, very unusual. I don't think this is for many of you. I think it's for just a few. So they immediately know that you're the one for them. Your future spouse will have already had some inkling that you were coming into their life, or that you would be in their life. You kind of blow them away, and they may, for you talk a lot about travel and culture, and maybe you can understand them on a political level or in a non-political level, and make very different, understand them in a different way that is important to them. And they feel that there's nothing at all wrong with you, even though others may feel that you don't quite fit in, or your choices in life are very different. They don't see it as a vice, they don't see it as a negativity, and they will be at your side in a trice, like just there. It's just love, love, love. So that is awesome. If you chose number 2, it's very, very sweet. And if you like this reading, then please check out my book. It's on Amazon, Quest for the Holy Pill. And it's a bit like eating ice cream and cake with clever lines, says Fran Azaman. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you have a very interesting talk and fun with your future spouse who will be at your side in a trice. And I think you guys will get married very quickly because they wouldn't want to risk losing you. And they like that they can travel and that you will still be fine, you know, because you have that emperor energy that they sense. So very good if you chose the purple flowers. So let's go on to the lavender. Let me put this, that looks kind of weird. Okay, before we get into the goodies, let me get you a deck so we can see what they may be thinking about you. I just realized I have left half my cards somewhere else, and I am going to just use these for now. So okay, let's see what we have for number 3. We'll use the Sasha Fenton, and let's see what first impression your future spouse oh, you know, I completely read number 2 wrong. I'm so sorry, number 2. I read it from their perspective. Okay, we'll get back to number 2. So this is what Mercury retrograde strikes. But anyway, number 3, this is the first impression you'll have of your future spouse. So what kind of first impression they they make on you. So what first impression they make on you. So we have the Two of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Star. So you'll feel that this is very similar to number 1. So you may want to check that out as well. You may feel a little bit conflicted. They seem to indicate a new beginning for you, but it's something very different. For some of you, you may feel that they're your soulmate, that you dreamt of them, and that they're a new beginning for you. So I feel you need to be careful here because you're looking for a new beginning and you kind of feeling conflicted about them. There's something about, you may always argue with them. So this may be someone that you know already, but you may be seeing them in a new light and thinking, this could work because when I think about it, they're actually my soulmate. But let's see what the impression is. Slice at the price, still very nice. So this is like, you like them a lot. They're not quite what you wanted, but you feel that they'll be good for you. So in a way, you feel like you're compromising. And for some of you, it could be that you're feeling it's time to get married now, and that's why you married them, rather than it's someone that you feel that you really want to spend the rest of your life with. You do think they're your soulmate, but you also feel like it's almost like settling for second best. You need a new start. You may be rebounding from someone else, and they're offering you a new beginning. They're offering you a stability and a spiritual connection that you feel you really, really need. So let's see what your other tarot cards say. These are the tarot cards I made myself from my do-it-yourself tarot kit for writers, and my sister and I did it together as a bonding exercise, and this was my version. Hers looks halfway different because we both drew our own symbols, but the impression you get is Temperance and Chariot. So you know that they're well balanced. You could be coming out of quite a toxic relationship, and they have the kind of balance and stability that you need, and that they are happy to offer to you. They are a bit of a mixed bag. You know this person really well. They are very focused on their career, and they also travel a lot. They're very ambitious, and they're ambitious for you. So for some of you, this could be someone that you work with, and someone who always had your back. And I feel this wasn't someone who you feel is your true love, but someone who you feel you could love and who loves you back. So it's almost like your second chance in love, but with someone else. And yeah, they're not the whole deal. They kind of like the thing on sale that will do for you. I know it's such a bad way of putting it, but it could work out really, really well, because quite often some of those type of things stay with us much longer than something that we thought we always wanted. So the other impressions that they make on you is, we've got the choice, we've got the ship, and we've got the sides. So they do like traveling, but they may offer to stay at home more often to be with you. Also, like I said, they represent stability. They represent you settling down, or they're offering you that. But they're giving you choices. They're giving you choices where to live, perhaps, or what to do. And you like that. And they seem very sweet, very stable. I feel they're around your own age, but they've always had it together. You know, if you went to university together, they were the ones studying hard and getting all their grades and you know, getting their first job within 2 weeks of graduating or whatever. And you were the one who was like partying and going out and maybe being with someone who broke your heart. And they were always trying to save you from that. And now they feel that they can. So this could be quite a bit of a karmic relationship, but I feel it's a good relationship for both of you. So let's see what other impressions they make of you, they make on you. So we've got casual. So they could be very casual dresses. They may be from Central Africa. They could travel there or work there. They're a very hard worker. They could be a fitness instructor or spend a lot of time at the gym. They could also be a lawyer or be studying towards being a lawyer. They're very stubborn. They could have short fingers, and they could be a little bit sulky or have a bit of a sulky face. So the thing is, they're very intense when they want something or they want to help someone, and they mean what they say. They don't go back on their word. And I think this is what you love most about them, when you decide that you're going to marry them and accept their offer. So this is a very different one. It's a very mature one in a way. Not a fairy tale, but maybe a happily ever after, because both of you will be working hard at this. So interesting. Very, very interesting. If you chose option number 3, which is the lavender, a slice at the price, but still very nice. So that was option number 3. Just pause. And we're back with option number 4, which we have the dancing couple. I'm sorry, her leg is bent quite horribly. Hopefully your leg is fine, but you may want to take better care of yourself when you're dancing. But anyway, before we go into the reading, I just want to tell you about Quest for the Holy Pail. So whether this is a sweet or sour impression that your future spouse makes on you, you can always find something that's like eating ice cream and cake, only you're reading it if you read the Quest for the Holy Pail, according to one of the first people to read the book. So it is available in Barnes & Noble. It's available from Amazon, at your local bookstores, on order, as well as any online stores, including the Carrefour in Spain, as well as some other, most online stores. Unfortunately, the ebook is only available on Amazon, but you can look out for it later this year or early next year. It should be available much more widely as an ebook. So I hope you look at it, or at least ask your librarian for it, because that's another option if you don't want to buy it but still want to read it. Ask your local librarian to get it for you. So we're going to first look at the tarot cards for you. what first impression will your future spouse make on you? So remember, some of it may not be the best. Sometimes we don't make the best impression with people because we're not having a good day or something like that. So let's see, you and your future spouse, what kind of a impression they make on you. So you may feel that they're a little bit hyper. They kind of may come across as a little bit mischievous and immature. There's some aspect about them that you may feel is unhappy. You may feel like they're overcompensating by being a little bit too loud, a little bit too playful, in order to mask some kind of inner unhappiness. But you also feel that they always get what they want, that they always succeed, that they win through, and that they're kind of happy-go-lucky and luck is always with them. You may feel that they're a very lucky kind of person. When it comes to if you're working with them, if they're a co-worker, you may feel that they kind of, get ahead because of their personality. It could be very flirty. It could be very, like I said, easygoing. And you may feel that they don't work hard enough, but they still get all the rewards. And there may be a little bit of a jealousy there if you're a co-worker. So let's see what this says. Is it a sweet or sour first impression they make on you? And what assumptions you may make about them. So we have a roll of dice and feelings of ice. So you may feel that even though they give this impression of being easygoing and fun and stuff, but you may feel that deep down they're really cold and that they kind of very changeable, and you may not trust them because you feel that one day, that they're everybody's friend as long as they're getting what they want, and that generally they can be very cold and very unempathetic, and it just depends on whether things are going their way or not, and they're very changeable. So I feel you may not trust them when you first meet them, and I'm getting a very strong impression of a work situation. So let's see what else you may feel about them. Your first impression. We have the Sun and we have the High Priestess. So you feel that they're very good at reading people and they use this to their advantage. You feel that they are very successful, but still you sense an underlying unhappiness. You feel that they always get the success that they want, and that they will be a very successful person without putting a lot of effort in. And for some of you kind of very judgy about them. And it feels like there's some kind of jealousy at work or something to do with that. For some of you, they could be your neighbor. They have everything you want. Like if you're thinking, oh, I really like that car, the next week they're driving it into their into their what do you call it? Driveway. Okay. And it could show you some kind of alignment that you have, because they do kind of sense you, and you sense things about them, about their deeper unhappiness. And this may be something that you feel as well. And it's probably why you notice them at first. So what else we have? We have the Man, we have the Clover, and we have the Woman. So despite this kind of initial kind of like, oh, I don't know, they could not, I distrust, you may feel that, that they're a lucky person, and they may feel that you're lucky as well, and you may feel that you would be lucky to be with them. You're kind of like in two minds about them. But you also feel you would make a good couple, and that they should give you a chance. It could be that for some of you, initially, it feels a lot like a work situation, or that you were in the same class or something, but mostly a work situation, or perhaps they worked for a client or with a client. You felt that they didn't give you a chance, and you would like that chance. And whether or not it's what really, what they felt too, it's the way you feel, the impression you got that they wouldn't give you a chance, but you guys would make a great couple. So maybe that's why you're feeling kind of disappointed and judgy about them. So what you may notice about them is they may have a hearing aid or a hearing problem. They could be baby-faced. They could like sewing or quilting. So, you know, maybe they are a neighbor, or maybe they like to buy, you know, they could like sewing or quilting, or they could sort of like linen, always looking at linen. So they could have traveled to Mongolia, or they could be from Mongolia or Canada, the West Coast. They could have a shy smile, or you'd notice their shy smile. And again, with their personality, you feel that they're kind of hard and cold, and they, you know, they're not that empathetic. Like if something happens to someone, you may feel, they may, you know, everyone go, oh, that's such a, you know, it's so bad, and oh, I wish them well, or whatever, and they're like, you know, stuff happens, deal with it. So you may feel that they're kind of hard in that respect. And they're, some of you may feel that they're a sound technician, or know them through a sound technician, or know that they kind of do stuff like that. They do have an altruistic side, but perhaps you may feel it doesn't work because the way it should, because they may only do that, but that may only come out for people that they like, or for causes that they believe in, which may not be the same as yours. And they could have some aspects that you really don't like, and they could be very, very aloof, difficult to talk to. So for some of you, you may feel they kind of like out of your league, and I'm not sure what will bring you together. For some of you, I got the feeling that this person could have been a sports car, or they could drive a sports car, but they could be in sports, like they could have been an athlete, or played for some major team in your region or your country. But it also feels like you are now in a business setting. It has a very corporate feel. It could be advertising, that kind of thing, that you meet them. So very interesting, very different one. Tell me what that sewing and quilting thing is about. Maybe it's something that they notice about you and comment on, and it surprises you that they would know about it. So yeah, let me know about that one, about a roll of dice and feelings of ice for this couple that are dancing. So that was option number 4, and let's go on to option number 5, our last option, but we'll get to option number 2 again because I kind of read it from the wrong perspective. And before we go on, please, if you're interested in reading something fun that's like ice cream or cake, and is full of puns, then consider reading Quest for the Holy Grail, which I wrote and which is available at most major bookstores on order, as well as via Amazon and some supermarkets as well. So if you chose the bow, which could also be a star, before we get into that, let's use the Angel Tarot cards and see what kind of impression your future spouse makes on you when you first see them. So we have 2 of Earth, King of Fire, and we have the Star. Oh, the Star's coming up a lot today. Excuse me. So the impression they make is, first of all, you think they're extremely sexy. They're very very fit, and you notice their physique immediately, and probably the way they move. You feel that they're very well balanced. You may feel that they are probably not as well off as you, and they could be stressed and there's a kind of discrepancy between the way they look and the way they move. So for some of you, they could be really clumsy, but have a really look really great, but kind of be really clumsy. And for others of you, they look great, but it could be that you kind of get the feeling that they're not as financially well off as you, or they don't have the same, or they can't afford the kind of lifestyle that you would like. But you do have a very strong connection with them. You feel that they're in a way a dream come true. You may have had dreams about them. They kind of shine. I feel that when you see them, it will be very difficult for you to think about anyone else after that for quite some time. For some of you, you could meet them out while you're hiking or out in nature or out camping. And for some of you, it could be that they are camping, 1 or 2 stands away from you. And it's just very different from what you would usually be doing. You're kind of like out of your element when you first meet them, and they seem to be kind of like in their element. But let's see whether it's sweet or sour. And you got cold words and disdain and really not nice. So even though they look so nice, they may be very difficult for you to get to know. They could be a bit cold. They could answer you with one word if you greet them. I'm getting a very strong camping scenario where you guys are camping in the same place, or perhaps on holiday in the same place that's, in nature, and you say good morning and they may not even answer you. But I also get the feeling that they're a loner. But they don't give you any indication at all at first that they like you or interested in you, and they seem to be going about their own way. Very much a kind of a loner. So let's see what the tarot cards say about them. So we've got the Hermit and Judgment. So yeah, you feel they're a loner, that it's very difficult to start a conversation with you or with them, and you may feel that you really want to talk to them, but you're not sure if you're ever going to be able to do that because time is short. Both of you are traveling, and or you're traveling, and you really want to make a connection with them. So you also feel that they're judging you, and you feel that they're judging you because you don't fit in. Perhaps your tent is too new, or it's if you're trying something new, or if you're backpacking, there's something that's kind of screaming that it's the first time that you're trying it, that you don't really belong in that, or that you're new to that whole scene. So, but it's a very strong sense of being in nature, of being very far from a city, and yeah, they seem to be very much at home there. So we've got a blank card, we've got the book, and we've got the keys. So they're very mysterious, and I feel that they don't really talk to anyone, but they're very sort of self-sufficient. If you smell a really delicious smell, you probably could locate it coming from their stand or from where they are. If you're in if you're in chalets, it would be their chalets and stuff. They may read actual books and you just sense they're very important in your life, and you really don't know how to proceed. So this kind of is a bit frustrating for you, because you really want to talk to them, but they seem very closed off, and yet you sense that they're very important to you. So let's see what else you notice about them. They've got very high cheekbones. They could be fishing. You could be in Mauritius or Reunion when you meet, or they could, or perhaps, you could hear them talking about it, or you may talk about it to them. They're very confident in the way they move and the way they are. They could come across as gregarious. So they could be talking a lot to other people around you, but not to you. And you feel that it's because, like I said, you may be new to the scene, and perhaps you made a few mistakes about terms, or perhaps you went for a walk along a trail that is more difficult than it is for a beginner, or something like that, and you feel that they're judging you for that. They also have a very charming smile, and I feel that you'd like to see more of it, but it's difficult for you to get them to smile. We also have Switzerland and Poland, so that could be some place again that they may have a bit of an accent or have those kind of looks. We also have Australia, mid or central, so it would be around Adelaide and, you know, the outback. Or perhaps, if you did end up talking to them in a group, these are the kind of places that they visited. We also got Hawaii, so you could be backpacking when you meet them. We got Scotland, Wales, Ireland. So we have, I think, we have Europe, we have Australia, we have a part of the US, we have a part of the Indian Ocean, and Europe again. So I would definitely say they give you the impression of backpackers. These could also be badges on their pack or on their, whatever. And we also have playing a string instrument. So they could play the guitar, they could play what are the string instruments? I'm thinking of this African one, which is really, really nice. What is it called? But this is not a person with a didgeridoo. This person is more likely to have a guitar, or I don't think they'd have a harp, but maybe a 2-stringed or a 3-stringed instrument, or it could be a violin as well. They could play a violin, but I think it's more likely to be an acoustic guitar, and cosmetically enhanced. So they could be so good looking that you may wonder if they've had some kind of plastic surgery or other kind of cosmetic surgery, because they seem almost too perfect to be, physically perfect to be kind of natural. So, and yet they're out in nature. So very interesting one. And this frustration will pass because this is your future spouse. So at some point they're going to end up marrying you and you marrying them. And you probably laugh because you probably find that they're probably as shy of you as you are of them. So try not to be too disappointed that you got met by cold words and disdain and really not very nice. So yeah, that was for option number 5. So before we close, I just want to go back to option number 2. And I'm going to pick some new cards because I kind of messed up for you. So, oh look, the cards are just falling out. So this was, it's the third one going to fall out for you. What kind of first impression will your future spouse make on you? And if you want to know what kind of first impression your future spouse gets from you, then just look at the playlist and you should find it under future spouse. So let's relook at this for option number 2. I'm so sorry that I read it wrong, but I guess you're getting 2 readings in one. So your cards this time are Ace of Earth, Queen of Water, 6 of Earth. So the impression you get of them is that they are just starting anew. They're very kind of grounded, they're very generous, they're very compassionate and creative, and that there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. You just want to be at their side immediately. You feel an instant connection to them. And what else did we have? We had the man, the birds, You feel they're very masculine. They're very communicative, and you feel that you've dreamt about them or you've connected to them before, and that they're very easy to talk to. There's something about them which is unpredictable and unexpected, and you feel that they're well traveled and that they will help you start new cycles in your life, or just that they will be your world, that this is the pearl you've been looking for, this is the treasure you've been looking for your whole life. You know that they are going to be amazing for you. And that they will treat you equally, and they will give you back what you put into a relationship. So you feel that they are quite kind of they're very fair in what they say and do, and if you treat them one way, they will treat you the same way. So it's important for you to do that. So let's see what these were again. So last time I read them as for you, so I don't feel it's right reading it for them. So what I'm going to do, the impression you got of them, excuse me, let's see if I can pick up anything from here, because I don't have any more of those little bits. We've got music, piano, we've got the key, and the sun. So the things you notice about them is that they may love music, or they may bring a lot of harmony to where they are. I'm getting the words Austria or Australia, so you may feel that they're from there, or they may have those accents, or you may discuss that area. You may feel that they're very important, or the things, the assumptions you make about them will be that they come from a sunny place, that they have a sunny disposition, that they play music or go to concerts a lot, and this is very important to them, that they are always looking for new opportunity, and perhaps they're a little bit I can't say that word today. Opportunist, never mind. Okay, you know what I mean. What else? Their looks. What card shall we pick for their looks? Let's pick one of these. So the way, the things that you notice about their looks is that they're quite serious. They may be a little bit older than you. They could be very authoritative. Why can't I speak? They could have very nervous or quick movements. They could have a wide mouth, and they could have because they're very masculine. They could have small eyes or a very sharp nose. They could have very sparkly eyes as well, and they could have a very good tan, or they could be darker skinned. They could also sing very well, perhaps, or have a very nice voice, and you like their voice a lot. I think that is one of the things that you really like about them. So that is what I have for you. I'm so sorry, number 2, if I got it the wrong way around the first time. But I hope you enjoyed it, and that you find your not a vice and at your side in a trice future spouse very, very soon. And I will catch you later. And don't forget, if you want a fun read, that's kind of like eating ice cream and cake, but with clever lines and names, then do check out Quest for the Holy Pale. And I'll catch you in the next video. Keep those vibes high. Bye.